Brandon, I don't know how big a win necessarily is in April, but considering what happened in the ninth inning, who you're playing, the way the team has been scuffling, I mean, does this feel like a big win to take to the West Coast?
It does, just because I feel like we did so many things well today. Just really good situational hitting there at the end. Pat with a big, huge bunt off 100 miles an hour, and then Cedric with the sac fly. Nice to see Trey swing the bat the way he did. Really proud of our pitchers. I thought our pitching was just outstanding. Valdez is not going to be perfect on the year, but we trust him with the ball, and more times than not, it's either a strikeout or balls on the ground. So one of those things, one strike away. But how about Tanner Scott there in the 10th inning with electric stuff? Just a lot of good things happened today.
Next question is from Nathan Ruiz.
Hey, Brandon, what do you like in having both Cedric and Austin at the top of the lineup?
Well, Cedric I think that's pretty easy. He's leading the race at the top of the league in hits, and another, what did he do today? Another hit off Montgomery, left on left to start the game off. Good at bats. He makes things happen on the bases. Got 918 OPS, so that's an easy one. Austin Hayes for me, I just put him there. I like Austin creates action, and he's got a chance to hit a homer. He's got a chance to go in the gap like he did. I think he's going to improve as a hitter. I think he stays on the ball well. So I just think I put him there just to try to create some action after Cedric, and worked out today.
Rich Dubroff, go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, going back to who you're playing, after having so much trouble with him your first year here, do you feel like now, after the series in New York and then this series here, it's showing that, you're much more competitive with the better teams, that the team is, taking a step?
Well, I think we've definitely taken a step on the mound, and that allows us to stay in games for a longer period of time. Our bullpen has really been good, and I was hoping Lopi could get through 5 today. We just had that trouble again in the 5th. But Plutko, it's a 2-out single to Odor after a flare and 2 outs. Lakin's real good. I just Fry great. I just think we're staying in games better against better teams because we're pitching better out of the pen, honestly. And the games that we've won for the most part are because we get a good start. Our bullpen does a nice job. We're still not swinging the bat, I think, the way we're capable of, but it's nice to win games like this, 4-3 extra inning type games when you're playing against really good teams, against lineups that are built to play in October. And I think that's a confidence builder for our guys.
Joe Trezza, go ahead.
Brandon, were you surprised at all that they pitched to Cedric in that situation, given how hot he's been, the base open, and the fact that the only run that really matters is at third base in that situation?
Well, if you look around the league, the intentional walk is way down. So not really.
Dan Connolly, go ahead.
Brandon, how tough is it with Lopez in that 5th inning, that situation? And how much do you want to see him get through that? And will that determine what he does in the future?
Well, I'd like to score a few more runs, so it's a little easier to keep him out there. I'd love to see him kind of grind through that inning if he could, if we had a 5-0 lead or something like that. But in a game the way it was, I got Plutko ready. I can use Plutko for some length there. I gave the ball to Adam in that spot. Unfortunately, 2 runs scored there, but Adam's been so good for us, and he almost wiggled his way out of that. He was 1 pitch away from wiggling his way out of that there in that 5th inning. But yeah, I'd love to see Lopi get over the hump, because the stuff the first 3 or 4 innings once again was really good. I just see a decline in his fastball velo there in that 5th inning. His command I think it starts placing the ball maybe a little bit. Just want to see him get over that hump.
We have time for one final question from Stan Charles. Stan, go ahead.
Brandon, when Mike came to you with the chance to acquire Plutko, is this kind of the role you envisioned him having with the team?
Well, knowing about him and seeing him pitch before, I knew that he was a guy that could give us multiple innings out of the bullpen or spot start or do a bunch of variety of different things. And in a year like this, I think the more guys you have like that, the better. Just and he has, turned himself into a high leverage. Any inning I can put him in when the game's on the line, just because I trust that he's going to throw strikes. I trust that he's done his homework. And he's going to make quality pitches, and he's got multiple pitches to get guys out because he's got a starter's repertoire. So. I didn't know that he was going to be pitching in the 5th or the 7th or in the 8th some games and big, with the lead. I thought there was a guy that's a major league pitcher that could give us some length somewhere, and he's turned himself into a guy right now that we rely on to try to keep the score where it is.